Coming up on Idaho Indie, we'll be catching up with the Optometrists at their 20th anniversary show, and we'll find out about the debut album from TV Dads, so stay tuned. It's all coming up next on Idaho Indie. Hi, my name's Tim Pernew, and welcome to Idaho Indie, your source for the best independent music in Idaho today. On the show, we'll be catching up with the Optometrists at their anniversary show at the Gem. We'll talk about the show, the band, and the survival of ska music. Then we'll be talking to the Idaho Falls pop-punk band TV Dads. We'll ask them about making their debut album and where you can find it. First, let's catch up with the Optometrists. One of the most consistently sought-after acts in East Idaho the last couple of decades is a group called the Optometrists. They reached a huge landmark this year as they marked their 20th anniversary as a band. We caught up with them before their anniversary show at the Gym to find out how they have survived that long here in southern Idaho. The Optometrists just celebrated their 20th year as a band with a show at the Gym in Idaho Falls this September. I caught up with them before the show to find out how the band has survived that long in southeast Idaho.
Chad and I have learned to tolerate each other.
Yes, and all the rest of you. Yeah. Some of you.
The band has gone through many lineup changes, 28 different members in total. Through all this coming and going, I wanted to know how the band originally came together.
Well, three of us were born of the same womb. And then as we grew up, we somehow became involved with music. So we decided to start a band.
Brothers Bruce, Chad, and Craig Christensen started the band 20 years ago in 1998. This was during the ska movement of the late 90s. Bands like Goldfinger, Real Big Fish, and Les and Jake were having great commercial success at the time. I wanted to know what bands and artists influenced them.
Say back then, it was the bands we listened to were Buckle 9. They were a ska band out of San Diego. They came through town and played here, and we enjoyed that. And Aquabats, Real Big Fish, Safe Urge, yeah, bands like that.
20 years for any band is a milestone and should be celebrated. I wanted to know, though, why they decided to do a 20th anniversary show.
We thought 20 years seemed like a good mile marker rather than 21 or 20 seemed good.
During the night, they showed videos from ex-members that couldn't make the show. The different members told stories and their most memorable moments from their time in the band. Through the night, they continued to switch between the different members and lineups over the time span of the band. The last thing I wanted to know is what they thought about the current ska movement of today, so I asked them the most cliche question I could think of: is ska dead?
Ska's always been
don't know what it's
around.
called.
Yeah, it's always been around. I mean, it hasn't been super popular on the radio the last few years, but it's actually coming back with like bands like the Interrupters, bands like that. And Real Big Fish and Buckle 9 and a whole bunch of other bands like that have gotten back together and are touring again and making ska great again.
Yeah. Because they have Trump hits.
Nice.
I thank Bruce, Chad, and the rest of the guys for taking the time to talk with us. Here's a special treat: the Optometrists playing Routine live from the Gem in Idaho Falls. Enjoy.
I remember when we wrote this song, we were hanging out in Chad's bedroom. The bed was over here, the nightstand over here. A guitar player over there, a drummer right there, a bass player right there. No trombones at the time. This was the day we were skinny back then. and we wrote this song for all of you. I wake up, make my bed, take a shower, comb my hair, got some breakfast at the door, check my email, keep it so routine. Have a meeting up to lunch, didn't knock me on that much. Take from work, home at last, to watch some TV, and then crash. Routine. All I'm doing is taking so routine. Instead of driving, I can take the fun. But I'm so comfortable just living like this way. Make the simple every day. I'll be tomorrow, I'll rearrange. I wish it different and make me feel straight. My head, I wake up, make my bed, take a shower, comb my head. Have a breakfast, I did all. Check my email, keep it short. Now I don't care what you do or what you say, you know I've got a schedule, don't get in my way. But I know exactly what I've got to do. The last thing I need is advice from you. All I'm doing is taking control of you. Break up on my routine. I like to be more on daily days. I wish instead of driving I could take the fun. But I'm so comfortable just living like this way. I wish you could do and make you stay. But then I wake up, make my bed, take a shower, comb my head, put some breakfast, I did all, check my email, keep it so Enough for Bruce on the trumpet. That's so comfortable living like this way. It makes us simple living every day the same. I'll think tomorrow, I'll rearrange. I live things different and make it feel straight. But then I wake up, make my bed, take a shower, comb my head, have some breakfast, have it all, check my email, give it so waiting. I got nothing else, feeling like we all that much. Take from work, when that I was watching TV, then that's that.
Welcome back to Idaho Indie, your source for the best independent music in Idaho. TV Dads are a pop-punk band from Idaho Falls. They just released their debut album this December. Their infectious style of pop-punk is so catchy, it'll stick in your head for days. They were nice enough just to sit down with us recently and talk about the new album. Here's the interview. Over the last couple of months, TV Dads, the Idaho Falls punk band, have been releasing teasers of songs off their upcoming debut album. First was the video for Piss Dust, followed up by a streaming release of a song called Slackerman. The songs I heard made me want to know more about the band, so I caught up with them recently in Idaho Falls to ask them about recording their debut album, their songwriting methods, and about the future plans for the band. First thing I wanted to know was how they became a band. They said originally they were a band called Young Lungs with another member.
Yeah, once our buddy got back from his mission, we started Young Lungs, which was kind of like a dark, really spacey, ambient, post-rock sort of music. And then it
wasn't fun at all.
It wasn't fun. It was a bummer. That's what it was. We just depressed everyone in the audience. So as soon as he decided he was done being in a band, we just decided to rebrand and go with TV Dads, play music that's just more fun.
So, how did they change from a post-rock goth band to a pop-punk band?
The three of us together, I think every time we've tried to write anything has come out pop-punk. It was the addition of Adam and Young Lungs that made it weird. But yeah, anytime the three of us have been in a room together, it's come out mostly pop-punk.
Every band is different in their songwriting methods. I wanted to know how the process worked in TV Dads.
Yeah, there's really I'd say there's two methods. One is David brings half a song, some chords, some melody, and then we flesh it out. And the other method is David writes a guitar part he can't sing while he plays. And then that's genuinely when I do the lead vocals and write a melody for that.
A lot of times I'll just be sitting in bed and I'll hear a melody in my head or something. I'm like, okay, that kind of sounds cool. And I'll sit down with my guitar and you give me like 5 chords and I can write like 10 songs. So
The sound production on their debut album is outstanding. I had to know with who and where they recorded it.
Ken Dudley, Cottonwood Studios, Ammon, Idaho. It is ridiculous the gear and professionalism he has in this area that we can go sound as good as we do.
So he's great. He's easy to work with, and yeah, he helps out a ton. So yeah, if you're looking to record with somebody around here, record with him.
The first single off the album is entitled Piss Dust. I wanted to know why that song. I also wanted to know about where the video was filmed.
I think that part of why Piss Dust is the single is because we had that video in mind for a really long time. But we also thought it was representative of how the album as a whole would sound. That was Jacob Westicott's house. Big shout out to him. He took a huge risk letting us pack that with 40 people and providing them with malt liquor. That came about because he had a big house with an unfinished basement, and most of our friends don't have the money for houses yet. And he lived his life responsibly and went to college and has a real job in a nice house.
With this great sounding album, I wanted to know if they had been shopping it to different labels, or was self-releasing it always the plan?
we've talked about maybe searching out a label or something, but I mean, we kind of do things at a leisurely pace.
In all likelihood, it'll be self-released, and then we'll see what happens.
With the 3 different release dates, I wanted to know about them and what other stuff the band had coming up.
So we're going to stream it here in 2 weeks. We're going to start streaming online. And then our album's going to release on the 1st of December. That's when we're doing our album release show at the Gym in Idaho Falls. And yeah, that's probably when we'll throw it online and everything. So
We'll put it on Google Play and iTunes and Spotify and everything like that. Very easy to find.
All right, I'd like to thank you guys for your time, and definitely check out that album. It's worth your time. I'd like to thank the TV Dads for taking the time to sit down with us. That ends the show. Thank you for making some time for us. I would like to close this show with a video from the TV Dads song Piss Dust. Enjoy and remember, go out and support your local musicians. We need each other. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.
savior.